I'm here with Dr Bilel Jamoussi, who is the Deputy Director of the ITU, the lead UN agency for digital technologies for the last 13 years. Currently holds the position as the Deputy Director of the Telecommunications Standards Bureau, TSB. The purpose of today's interview and podcast is really that there's an exciting summit coming along in the next few days, which is actually next week, will be the AI for Good Summit, which is being held in Geneva on the 8th to 11th of July at the Palexo International Exhibition and Conference Center. So welcome to the podcast, Bilel.
Thank you very much for having me.
Today's episode is sponsored by IFG Consulting Europe, who help operators to tap into technologies to accelerate digitization of the network, drive revenues, and reduce costs by championing promising software providers in telecoms, enterprise, and mobile markets. Go to ifgconsultingeurope.com to find out more.
So if I understand correctly, I'm quite excited to be going there because it's something that I guess I wouldn't have known about if we hadn't last year had a podcast, which we did we actually did two together. And I was quite excited for this podcast to be part of this summit, given, first of all, the importance of AI and the growing importance, I say. But having said that, maybe just briefly, I believe it's been going since 2017, so it's not a new thing for you, right? So maybe you could just briefly explain how we got to where we are now with the summit.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. I mean, the AI for Good Global Summit was something that we envisioned in 2017. We had the first edition of that summit then, and it brought like 400 participants from around the world. But fast forward to 2025. This year, we're expecting close to 14,000 participants in the Palexpo, which is the biggest arena for convening people, conference, and exposition. And really what's more important in this growth over the past 8 years is the breadth and depth of the dialogue that is going to take place. We have the top leaders on AI, Jeffrey Hinton, Yann LeCun from Meta, Joshua Bengio from Canada, from Montreal. Many of the top leading CEOs, Salesforce CEO, the CTO of Amazon Web Services, chief scientist of Microsoft, government leaders, heads of states, and close to 65 ministers of telecom and 40 telecom regulators. It is a multi-stakeholder dialogue that we'll be having on key topics around artificial intelligence. Of course, the governance dialogue on AI. This is the unique place where you have all the stakeholders around the table at the highest level to talk about the governance of AI. The International AI Standards Exchange, which will have many announcements of launching a database, launching standards to combat deepfakes, policy guidance on combating deepfakes and having multimedia authenticity. And the summit itself, the 2 days on the 8th and the 9th, will feature some of the top speakers on AI, but also close to 100 demos on new applications in robotics, autonomous driving, flying cars, you name it. It's really the summit on AI. There are many events around the world on artificial intelligence. What's unique about our summit is the multi-stakeholder aspect. It's the breadth and depth of the conversation. It's having 50 UN partners, the private sector at the C-level, and the government and the ministerial and prime minister and heads of state. So it is an event that we've been preparing for a year now. We're very pleased with the number of registrations and confirmed speakers. We have close to 750 speakers throughout the week in different workshops, different side events. We are bringing lots of youth from 8 to 18 years old that have been competing on the Robotics for Good Youth Challenge around the world in more than 60 countries, and they're all coming to Geneva. The finalists are coming to compete here in the youth stage. We've been working with startups to bring the latest and brightest from around the world through the pitching competitions we had for startups. We call it the Innovation Factory. And then the finalists at the national, regional level are coming to compete on the international stage here at the summit and have an opportunity to really grow their startup ideas and find investors and joint venture and venture capital to grow them. We are having a meeting of our AI Skills Coalition, something we launched in Davos. And now we have over 50 partners, including private sector and UN, that have content to train people, to train newcomers to AI, policymakers on AI, diplomats on AI, and the use of AI in many sectors, in healthcare, agriculture, transportation, etc. So we're very excited by the three pillars of the summit, which is standards, governance, and skills. These are the three pillars. And of course, the summit itself is really the convening platform of those, the multi-stakeholders at the highest level to really exchange on what's the latest around AI and AI applications. The extradition space is phenomenal. We have so many robots running around and flying cars, etc. So it's going to be quite exciting in showing the latest applications of AI for good.
Thank you very much. There's a very comprehensive sort of overview of the event. And would I be right in saying, in a way, you're trying to showcase the art of the possible, right? But then bring that in front of stakeholders who have the power to actually institutionally, if you like, implement that in their countries, the organizations, so that, you bring it together, the two sides, if you like, of the creativity there, which is required. So on the one side, what are people doing? On the one side, how are people actually going to implement this? And trying to then, I think I've heard a lot in very recent events using guardrails, if you like. I don't know if that's the term, but basically trying to create some structure around it so that people can work out what, the art of the possible, what can be done, what should be done, and maybe also avoid the pitfalls as well. And I guess it's just bring it to another level. Is that a fair sort of summary a bit?
Precisely. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what we try to do through the demo stage and the exhibition space is to show brain-machine interfaces and how those are being used to, help people with various disabilities or specific needs in moving and in touching and in communicating, being able to write through a brain-machine interface. Being able to see that in action brings the AI and the AI applications, to something concrete and visible. And that's important for the policymakers, the ministers, and the telecom regulators that are coming to see concrete applications of AI. But at the same time, have the space to dialogue with peers. Remember, there's more than 80 countries that do not have an AI strategy today. So being able to bring ministers from developing countries and developed countries together and dialogue about how to set up a national strategy around AI. What are the basic needs and tools that need to be put in place? Do I need my own data center, or can I get some space in a data center outside of the jurisdiction? Access to compute platform, the skill. How can I develop skill in my country to be able to, solve real problems locally? How do we harvest the data locally to address AI for health or AI for education or for road safety? So having that broad spectrum of conversation from standards to governance to the skills development with concrete demonstrations of what's possible today with real solutions. Autonomous, we will have like 4 or 5 different autonomous driving cars in the expo. We will have a flying car. We have so many BMI solutions demonstrated. And what we are doing also new this year is a dialogue on trustworthy AI testing and knowledge transfer, which is very important for that level of confidence that countries need to have around AI. Can I trust this algorithm? Can I trust this solution? And in order to provide that level of trustworthiness, there is an element of testing, validation, and knowledge transfer on how that test and validation is happening. So we have a dialogue on that. What else is new is the quantum for good, because AI needs so much compute power. Traditionally, has been provided through farms of data centers with GPUs. Still the case, but I think if we look in the future, we see that quantum computing is quite powerful and can solve many problems in a more energy efficient way. And that's why we included a track on quantum for good. And so we'll have a conversation around that. And the third new frontier is the virtual worlds, the metaverse, and how AI and the metaverse are an important element in the conversation. We just concluded an AI and virtual world UN Day in Italy just a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to bring a lot of those latest technologies of cityverse, metaverse, AI, and virtual worlds also to the front stage in the AI for Good Summit here in Geneva, 8 to 11 July.
That's really good. I heard something about neural networks. That is the same summit. There's some neural event as well. I saw that on the webpage.
It's the brain-machine interface that is the new element. But of course, neural networks are part of the basic design of AI algorithms. What we have branded as the neural network is our own online platform. We have 45,000 people who are connected on the neural platform, the AI for Good neural network. And that's something we started during COVID, because as I mentioned, the summit started physically in Geneva in 2017. During COVID, we did not stop the programming. We moved online and we created the neural network. And a couple of years later, now we have about 45,000 people, and we will be live streaming several of the sessions on the neural network. And so participants who want to join remotely can simply sign up to the neural network and be able to access the content remotely.
So we'll make sure that as a footnote to this podcast, that any access is there. And thank you for that clarification. As you sort of rightly saying, when you're looking for the first time at it from an outsider, there's a lot happening and it's quite a big jigsaw and it's very difficult to sort of get your head around all the different tracks. So what is your advice to someone who's, participating for the first time? I guess there's two groups from what you just said. One is maybe on the neural network who physically can't be there, but given there are 45,000, we are talking about maybe 30,000 online participants. And then there's been 14,000 in person, of which, of course, are not all maybe all guests. But anyway, still, you've got two different groups there. How would you suggest they go about absorbing what's happening and getting involved?
Right. So for the participants in person on site here in Palexpo, my advice is to register. Registration is free for everyone. There is also VIP registration if participants want to have, speedy access and preferential seating, etc. They can sign up for a VIP pass or a gold pass. Otherwise, everyone is welcome and they can join freely, but they have to register online. And then they need to come to Palexpo and get their badge and access the site. The entire program is online at aiforgood.itu.int. And that's where you would register as well. For participants who would come online, my advice is to register to be an online participant through the neural network platform. And, again, the program is available and you can look at which sessions are most interesting to you. We will have live streaming on the main stage. You'll have like 6 different stages. There is the main stage, there is the frontier stage, the youth stage, the governance dialogue, the standards dialogue. So depending on your area of interest, of course, you can pick and choose from the program and go to those sessions. Not everything will be online. It's only certain sessions, and the main stage being one of them. So the online participation will be possible, but will not be for the entire conference, as we have, as I mentioned, 750 speakers and hundreds of workshops running in parallel.
So what is your hope for the event from an output perspective and impact? Given you talked about, say, the standards, the governance and the skills, but other than people are sort of it's a melting pot of ideas and people, are there sort of work streams which come out the back of it? Are some of the discussions continuations of other pieces of work being done throughout the year? Because I know that there are also AI for Good summits in other regions throughout the period of time. So have I got that correct, that from that perspective, that this is just, even though this is the global summit, there are other continuations?
Yes. So our desire of impact is really to continue the momentum that we started in 2017 to have international standards on AI. Today, the ITU published 150 standards on artificial intelligence, and there is another 150 standards under development. So that's in the standards space. We have 13 workshops with AI in cybersecurity, AI in the climate or energy efficiency, AI in multimedia authenticity, etc. So there are different tracks on AI and standards, and we leverage the summit to continue that momentum, to bring new people to be aware of what standards exist and how to be part of the standards development process. The second pillar is, of course, the AI governance dialogue. Last year, we were able to attract ministers from the global south and the north, C-level executives. This year, the number has gone up quite significantly. We have over 70 ministers from around the world, over 50 regulators of telecom who will be taking part in the summit, and of course, the governance dialogue, and top leaders from industry. So we want to continue the conversation on the governance and the guardrails on AI. Last year, as an impactful outcome of the AI governance dialogue, we had the multimedia authenticity collaboration with ISO and IEC. And this year, we're going to show the impact after a year with the launch of a technical paper showing the entire spectrum of technical solutions and standards for multimedia authenticity. We have another paper on the policy guidance on how to combat deepfakes and how to provide multimedia authenticity through policy guidance for regulators. And the third is the communication around deepfakes for the end user and the policymaker. So from one summit to the other, we continue to build momentum and show impact through concrete deliverables. On the skills, our hope is that we want to really expand the AI skills coalition that we launched in Davos. We have a steering members of the partners, the 50 partners we have on board. We want to train at least 10,000 people by the end of this year, but we want to add a few zeros next year. And in order to scale, we want to have more partners in the AI skills coalition. So these are some of the key milestones we are trying to achieve through the AI for Good this year. Cement the standards work, grow the governance dialogue, and include the trustworthy AI testing and knowledge transfer as part of the governance dialogue, and then to really grow the skill creation and helping developing countries access the skills they need so that we can avoid widening the digital divide. And those are really some of the key objectives of the summit this year. Of course, the demos are an amazing way to bring it all to be a concrete deliverable that people can see and touch and look at the robots and drive autonomous cars and look at flying cars, etc.
So seeing is believing, as they say, which is true. I'm really looking forward to the event. I'm looking forward to seeing you and the team in person, and really appreciate, even though I'll do a shout out this time, I'd like to shout out for you and all the great work that you're doing. And, I really think another aspect, as you know, this podcast has also got connection to telecommunications, which of course the ITU by definition is part of. And really without the sort of underlying technological fabric, lots of this is not deliverable. So very interesting to see AI in its purest sense. And I appreciate all your time and effort and look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ian. I look forward to seeing you and all our media partners and delegates to the summit. Thank you.
Thank you. On Digital Talk, we spotlight entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators using digital tech and telecoms to drive global impact in a changing world. uncovering the unexpected, spotlighting hidden gems, and sharing inspiring stories that shine a light on the most transformative corners of our industry. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate us and subscribe, and feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. And if you have comments or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email. Thanks for being part of the Digitel Talk community and for listening. Stay tuned.